Dear students, welcome. Today we are going to start the new chapter, How do organisms reproduce, from class 10 biology. So let's get started. Now when we talk of reproduction, the basic blueprint and the design of the organism is stored in the genetic material. This material is known as the DNA, deoxyribose nucleic acid. It is present in the chromosomes which are present in the nucleus of a cell. It contains the information for inheritance of features from one generation to the next generation, that means from the parent to the offspring. And this information carries the source for making proteins, and these proteins are the source for the expression of these characters. Now, what is DNA duplication and replication? The first reaction which takes place is the duplication of DNA. That means the DNA, the original DNA gets copied and one more copy of the DNA is created. The DNAs then separate from each other and make two different copies, and the DNA copies generated will be similar but they may not be identical to one another, and therefore what happens, the variations are created, and these variations are the essence of the evolution. Now what is the importance of DNA copying during reproduction? DNA copying means production of an exact copy of the original, but the process of copying DNA will result in some variation each time, which leads to the creation of variants in the population of one species, and these variants then basically results in the stability of the population or may even result in formation of a new species. So this is very important. The creation of variation is one of the most important characteristics of reproduction. Now variations are important for the survival of the species, as it allows some individuals which are different from others to withstand any change in the environment which the other individuals may not be able to survive in. Therefore, these variant individuals may result in the survival of the species. They may extend the survival of the species and prevents the extension. Now, what is reproduction? Reproduction is the process by which organisms generate new individuals of the same kind. Now, reproduction is fundamentally classified into two types. It may either be asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction. Now, asexual reproduction basically takes place in lower plants and animals which have simple body design, whereas sexual reproduction takes place in higher, more complex and complicated organisms. So, we will go into detail of sexual and asexual reproduction one by one. Now, what is reproduction we are talking about, and there are two fundamental types of reproduction: asexual reproduction, in which we are going to discuss around 6 different types of asexual reproduction which are very common: fission, fragmentation, regeneration, vegetative propagation, spore formation, right? And we are going to discuss one more, which is basically it is of the vegetative propagation, but it is a new technology which is known as tissue culture. Now in sexual reproduction we are going to discuss sexual reproduction in flowering plants and the sexual reproduction in human beings. Now when we talk of asexual reproduction, it is the process of formation of new individuals from any specialized or unspecialized part of a single parent without fertilization. That means in asexual reproduction only a single parent is needed, okay, and there is no need of formation of any specialized cells or gametes, right? So no male or female gametes are needed, no special reproductive organs are needed. It is very simple form of reproduction. Now asexual reproduction is classified into 6 groups: fission, fragmentation, regeneration, budding, vegetative propagation and spore formation, and we are going to discuss each in a detail. Now when we talk of the first type of asexual reproduction, it is fission. Now it is one of the most simple type of asexual reproduction in which the parent cell splits. It splits into two or more daughter cells. When it splits into two daughter cells, it is known as binary fission, which is very commonly seen in unicellular protozoa like amoeba, paramecium, euglena, leishmania. And when a single cell divides into many daughter cells, then it is known as multiple fission, which is commonly seen in the Plasmodium vivax, which is basically a parasite which causes the malaria fever. Now what happens during binary fission? There is first copying of DNA, that means replication of DNA takes place, then karyokinesis, that means then the division of the nucleus starts. When the division of the nucleus basically is completed, then the division of the cytoplasm and the cell formation, then basically the division in the cell, which is by the formation of the cell membrane, starts, and ultimately from one parent cell there is formation of two daughter cells. So first the karyokinesis takes place, that means division of nucleus, after the copying of DNA, and then the cytoplasm starts dividing, and ultimately the cell membrane also it grooves in, and this cell splits into two equal daughter cells. So this is known as binary fission, because one parent cell divides to form two equal daughter cells. Now this is also seen like when we talk of the multiple fission. One very common example which we have cited earlier is the Plasmodium vivax. Another example is in amoeba also. So in the unfavorable conditions, when the conditions are not favorable, the wall, the membrane of the amoeba, it becomes more, we can say it becomes thick, and it forms like a cyst, right? Because in the conditions which are not favorable for survival, the reproduction is not by binary fission, which is the common mode of reproduction of amoeba, but amoeba, the membrane, it becomes thicker, so it forms a cyst like formation, and in that cyst there are many daughter cells which are produced by repeated mitotic divisions, and ultimately when the conditions become favorable, this cyst wall ruptures and many number of multiple amoeba are released. So this is known as the multiple fission, which is also seen sometimes in amoeba during unfavorable conditions. Now what is budding? Budding is a type of reproduction, asexual reproduction, in which a bud or a outgrowth develops due to repeated cell division at a specific site. Now this specific site contains special cells which are known as the regenerative cells. Now this bud develops to a new individual, and when fully mature it detaches from the parent body and becomes an new individual. So it is commonly seen in the coelenterate hydra, and it is also seen in yeast cell. So let us see. So this is the parent yeast cell. Now a very small bud develops, ultimately this bud grows, the nucleus divides, the karyokinesis takes place. So one of the nucleus basically goes to the bud, then the bud basically detaches, the new yeast cell is produced. But sometimes the bud remains attached to the yeast cell and grows, and ultimately to the new cell also there is once again budding, and ultimately a colony or long chain of yeast cell is also formed. So this is very commonly seen in yeast. Now the other type of asexual reproduction is spore formation. Now it is seen commonly in fungus and in some plants. So it is a type of asexual reproduction in which spores from the sporangia come out when matured, and each spore will develop into a new individual. So here you can see this is a fungal mycelium. This is a fungal mycelium, and when this fungal mycelium grows up to a particular length or physical maturation, you can see these are the hyphae which are like the stems of the plant, and these are the bulbs which are known as the sporangia. Now these sporangia, they contain spores, and when these spores get matured, these sporangia, they rupture and very large number of microscopic spores are released into the air. Now these spores, they are present in the air, and when they get favorable conditions like moisture and a nutritive substrate, they germinate, and once again there is the fungal plant develops. Now this is the spore formation is in rhizopus, which is also known as the bread mold. Now another type of asexual reproduction, or in strict sense it is not a reproduction, it is a type of accident. This is known as regeneration. Now in this method, a part of the body of the organism, if it is accidentally cut into pieces or broken, now then an individual piece develops into an new individual organism. This is seen commonly in planaria, which is a special type of flatworm, right, in hydra and in starfishes. So when a planaria accidentally gets cut into n number of pieces, then each piece develops into or grows into an individual planaria. Similarly, hydra, if it gets cut into number of pieces, then each individual piece has the potential to develop into a full-fledged individual hydra, and this is known as regeneration. But strictly saying, it is not a common method of reproduction, but it may happen due to an accident, in which accidentally if the organism's body gets cut into number of pieces, then each piece will develop into an individual organism. So this is known as regeneration. Now another type of asexual reproduction is fragmentation. In this method, the body of a simple multicellular organism, in which each cell behaves independently, it breaks up into smaller pieces on maturation, and each fragment develops into a new individual. The most common example is the filamentous algae, which is commonly found in stagnant water, pond water, which is Spirogyra. So in Spirogyra, it is a filamentous algae in which there is a chain or a ribbon of cells. Now when it reaches a particular length or number of cells, it gets fragmented into number of pieces. Then each piece behaves as an individual organism. So it once again grows, and once again when it reaches a physical maturation, number of cells, then once again it gets fragmented into number of parts, and each part behaves as an individual Spirogyra. Now let us come to vegetative propagation. Now vegetative propagation basically takes place in highly developed trees and plants also. So this is something which is different from the asexual reproduction which we have seen till now, which was seen in lower plants and animals, but now this is seen even in highly developed plants and trees. Now vegetative propagation, in this method new plants are produced from the vegetative parts of the plants. What are vegetative plants? Like roots, stem or leaf. Example from roots: dahlia, sweet potato. From the stem, potato, ginger. From the leaf, bryophyllum and begonia can be produced. Now plants produced by vegetative propagation have some advantages. What are the advantages? They produce flowers and fruits earlier than those plants which are produced from the seeds. Now the genetic makeup of the plants which are produced by vegetative propagation is exactly like the parent plant. So if we want a desired quality, and if we have the vegetative propagation, if we use vegetative propagation, then we can have the characteristic in the parent plant exactly like in the offspring plant, exactly like the parent. okay, because there is no pollination or cross pollination involved. It is like a cloning. So it also helps in the propagation of plants which either have lost the ability to produce seeds, or if they produce seeds, the percentage of germination of those seeds are very small, right? So vegetative propagation can also be done artificially, which is known as artificial propagation. It is done by cutting, layering, or grafting. So this we will cover in the next presentation. Thank you very much.